Welcome, everybody. We've got Karen Whiting back again. She's the author of 26 books and the mother of 5 children, and she's going to be talking on teaching to your child's personality. Welcome, Karen.
Thanks for having me on, Cynthia, and I'm going to start sharing my screen so we can look at things to do with personalities. And personalities really impact everything you do with other people and how you do things too. So you need to know a little bit about your personality, your temperament, as well as your child's in order to really have a good teaching relationship. I'll give you a little story of when I first realized the differences in personalities with my children. And that's when I had the first outing with my first 3 children. And James was just a couple weeks old. They were having a party for us with the ship's wardroom people from the Coast Guard vessel my husband was stationed on, and the captain's wife was picking me up. I had taken all this time to get everyone ready. I'm just finishing up the baby, James, when Rebecca comes in with her hands on her hips and stomping her little feet, saying, "Mom, I told him not to do it, but he did it anyway, and then he made it worse." And I said, "All right, what did Michael do?" And she said, "Well, he poured shampoo all over the floor in the bathroom." And I thought, "Oh, that's great." And then she said, "So I figured that you use powder to help dry up the baby's bottom, so I put powder on the floor, and then he thought it was snow and just started running under it and laughing and sliding all over the place." And I said, "Okay, just watch the baby." I figured he can't do anything, she can't do anything. I grab a big towel, go in, put it around Michael. He's just giggling, laughing. I have to clean him up, change his clothes. Meanwhile, I hear the captain's wife come to the door and Rebecca opening up, and I'm thinking, I'm not letting anyone know what happened today. And she just gives her a rundown of everything that went on. And I'm just about dying, but I get Michael ready and have him walk out, and I pick up the baby and take him out. And Judy is there cleaning my bathroom floor. Just so sweet. But that tells you a lot about personalities. My son, Michael, likes to make everything into a party. He's what we call the socializer, the social interactor. And Rebecca is the rabbit. She likes to be in charge of something and everything and in control. My friend Judy actually is the perfect melancholy who will just go to work and be a little busy beaver. And my son James, even though he really wasn't doing anything and he never cried as a baby, he was the phlegmatic or the friendly supporter. So let's talk about these temperaments and what they mean. The social interactor, also known as the popular sanguine, and that term, those Greek terms aren't used as much anymore, or the playful otter for the people who follow John Trent's little book for children about personalities. That person wants attention. They want fun. They're talkative. They're loud. You can hear them before they get into the room because they wear loud stomping kind of shoes. They like to be around people. They're less focused, though. They jump from one thing to another. They're a bouncing Tigger in the land of poop. And they're often highly kinesthetic. They want to hug you. They want to touch everything around them. But they are also great cheerleaders who love parties. Then we have the powerful director, known as in the Greek as the choleric, in the animal kingdom, the lion. This person likes to take charge. They are very goal-oriented. And that makes it easy for schooling if you let them take charge of their curriculum. They are bossy, they're task-oriented, and they stay really focused. They are so focused, it can be hard to pull them out of their focus. Their desire is to achieve, to get things done. They like facts, and they want approval. They want you to notice they've done something. The thoughtful analyzer. In the Greek, that's the perfect melancholy. It's the busy beaver. They're analytical, they're sensitive, they're slow and steady workers. They like to be organized. They like their own space and privacy. They don't want Tiggers, the socializers, social interactors coming in and messing up their space or coming up too close to them. They like to take time to think things through and make a decision. They take so much time that I recall asking my son James what his favorite color was. And he sat there thinking and thinking, and I thought, all right, I'm going to go do some other things. And I come back and he's still thinking. He finally goes, "Mom, it's green, but it's not the green of the grass, and it's not the green of," and he goes through all the things it's not green. And he finally, was trying to tell me what it is, and I realized it's jade green, and I got something to show him, and he said, "That's it. That's my favorite color." because he really wanted to get it perfectly described to me. Then we have the friendly supporter, the phlegmatic in the Greek, the golden retriever. Everybody likes this person. They're diplomatic, they're witty, but they are procrastinators, the hardest ones to get through their daily work. They want respect. And if you are a powerful director, the person in control, you get very frustrated if your child procrastinates. You think, why don't you just get it done? Then you could go play. Then we could do these other things. And why should I respect you when you can't do what you're supposed to do? So it's harder to give them respect, but that's what they want. They want respect for the effort, for what they are doing. And they want to know the benefits of what is being taught, because they want to know, why does it make a difference? How is it going to impact people? And it's part of their drive for wanting peace. How can I make peace? I have to understand why things matter to different people so I can bring them together to agree. And everyone has different motivations. So when you think of those temperaments, the social interactor, that person wants praise. They want stickers to wear, to show off, to put somewhere. They like to work together. So they'd rather have you sit with them and you read to them, or they read to you the whole day long. They like to give oral reports, to read aloud, to perform. They like to think every subject has a fun element to it. The powerful director, they like rewards. They like achievement charts where they can, and they like a little to-do list where they can check off that they've done each thing they're supposed to do for the day. They like stickers. They like control and choice. And they like to set goals. They want to help choose the curriculum they'll use, and they know what they would do better with. They like to think they know everything, and most of the time they're actually right, because they just pull in information. They are sponges that suck it all in, and they remember it all. And so having them help to choose the curriculum will make life easier for you. Just give them a choice between the ones you've already thought would be better. And they also like to help plan their day. How can they, if you say to them, we have to get through this book in so many months, they will help divide it up and figure out how many pages to do a day, and they will want that as their goals. And they will keep up with it. So it's not bad to have them help choose the curriculum and choose the goals and help set up how they will do it every day. The thoughtful analyzer likes encouragement. They like to have time to do things, time to think about things. They are organizers. They want their supplies nearby. They want their books to have visuals in them and charts and maps so they can check out details. They like to have a dictionary nearby. They like a thesaurus. They like all those things so they can find the precise words and look up definitions. And you need to help lower their expectations because they want everything so perfect they take forever to finish things. I can remember in first grade, my son, who's now a rocket scientist, the teacher called me one day and said, do you think you could get him to do his work faster? He's always having to miss recess to finish. And I said, no. I thought, I have my own thing that I'm doing of trying to get him out to the bus stop on time. This is before I was homeschooling, because this was one of my older children. And I thought, I can't get a fire lit under him to get him to move faster. He will always do things perfectly. And I said, but he does it all well. And she says, yes, he's my best student, but I just would like him to go faster. And I said, well, why don't you tell him he has to do less of the problems, because most of them are repetitive and he doesn't need them. And then we have the friendly supporter who wants incentives and has to understand consequences. He likes jokes and consistency. He likes respect, and he wants to make it easy. Okay, don't make it too hard. But if you don't give him an incentive, he may never finish, or she may never finish the work. If they don't understand the consequence that you will not get to go here if you're not finished, they have nothing to make them go faster. And what causes problem for each of them? That causes a problem for you in your homeschool environment. The social interactor, isolation causes a problem. If you make them work alone at a desk in their bedroom or somewhere away from everyone, they just can't stand it and they can't get anything done. They want attention. They see no fun in being alone. The powerful director, the lack of control. If all the decisions are made for that child, They feel like they have no control over the situation. They can't choose anything. And that makes them unhappy. The thoughtful analyzer, disorganization, and criticism. They're so sensitive. You criticize what they do and they just break out in tears. They feel like I'm a total failure if you criticize them. So you have to get them to understand that this is good, but let's do it a little bit better. They do have to know what's right and what's wrong, say in math. And they're just going to have to learn that that's not a criticism like you are a bad person. It's just this problem has something wrong, not you. It's not that you can't do it. It's just that let's take our time and make sure we get it right, although they already want to take their time. So it's better to say, just check it a second time and you'll be fine. Friendly supporter. They react if you give them too much pressure. They react if there's too much anger around them and there's a lack of peace. And they don't like it when there's no peace and there's no time for them to rest or relax between things. They don't necessarily want to go from one subject to another right away. They want at least a 5-minute break in between. They just want to know I have a few minutes to rest and relax before I have to get to the next thing. What should their work area be like? The social interactor likes a colorful desk in the middle of the action. They'd rather do it in the middle of the kitchen or the middle of the family room, wherever you are going to be, wherever people will be. They want and react well if you give them a photo they can put up there of what they want to be when they grow up. Now that photo may change every week for them because they do bounce and continue thinking of other things, but they can go find one and you can print it out and put it up and they're happy because they need to learn things to be that person. They like sticky notes for reminders, not a to-do list, because a to-do list is boring to them. They don't want to check all those things off and they bounce. So if you have things in a few different places so that they look to their left on a bulletin board for what they're reading and maybe straight ahead for what their math is and all, they actually do that better for their reminders. And you have to remember, you're more the accountability partner. They want you to say, did you finish your social studies? Did you finish this? Rather than a checklist that they can check off. They want to hear you, notice them, and they want to have that social interaction, so they'd rather have you be become the accountability partner. The powerful director likes a big desk with a computer or an iPad. They want the newest modern things. A calendar, a notebook for their goals, curriculum that they helped choose, and they will tell you what they need and why they need it often. But they will listen to reason. And if they sit down with you and you say, let's think about the goals and let's think about why we need to choose certain curriculum, they will listen to that and they will help choose it because they feel like they're part of that. And that does make a difference for them. The thoughtful analyzer wants a desk in a quiet area, far from noise and other people. They'd rather be in their room all alone with a desk. They'd rather be in a closet all alone if that's the only place they can have a desk that's alone. Even if it's hot, they'd rather be alone. They like containers to organize everything and a list of what to do. And they will very carefully check off their list. The friendly supporter wants a relaxed place to work with a comfy chair. Keep them away from the bed because they'd rather sit on the bed and lay on the bed and do their work, but they would fall asleep because they really do like to relax. They can sleep easier than anyone else. They need some mottos to keep them working and a timer. Those little timers you can turn is very helpful for them if you say, I need you to work at least 15 minutes and then you can take a break for 3 minutes. And they'll use that timer and turn it on and off as they need it to keep them moving along. All personalities, we have to remember, all our children are lovable. They all have strengths, they all have weaknesses. And as each matures, the person moves to the center of what the 4 personalities are, and they learn to live in their strengths. So even though you may be frustrated because a child procrastinates, or frustrated because they want to be bossy, you have to remember that that's part of their strength too, and part of their weakness that we have to help them, help nurture how to overcome those weaknesses. Now, if you're not sure what your child's personality is from my little things I've given you, this is what a test would look like, where you always choose the word for each child. And there's a lot of them online that you can go and look up a temperament test and take that, or let them take it or you take it for them, knowing what they're like. And then there'll be a little way to analyze that. If you do it on the computer, it will analyze it for you. So what happens when your child's upset? Okay, your child who is the social interaction will become loud, noisy. They'll want to call friends. They'll want to dish you to their friends. They want to stomp around, and they get a little bit louder than they have been before. And what they need for you to calm them down is to give them attention, to sit beside them and give them a hug and say, what's going on? And let them give you that feedback of what they want and say, let me see what you're doing. Can you show me a few examples? And give them that time that they want. Now, the powerful director will have a temper tantrum. They have the worst temper tantrums of all the personalities, and they're not worried about who sees it. They can be in the middle of a store when they're 2 years old and lay down and kick and have a temper tantrum because they want control and they're out of control and they feel it's the only way they can get it. And they get angry. They will tap their feet. If you think about Rabbit in the Land of Pooh, Rabbit's always tapping Rabbit's feet with, up and down if Rabbit's upset. And they will hold a grudge. So you have to get them to forgive and move on. And that's a hard thing. They'll even hold a grudge against, I don't like this curriculum because it's not fast enough. It's not this. I'm mainly it because I didn't choose it. Okay. And then we have the, let me use this pointer here. Actually, we'll go here because I've been going in this order each time. Our thoughtful analyzer. They cry or whimper or whine. They're not loud. In fact, they may actually be sulky and moody because they're going to do everything in a quieter way. And they may shut up and not answer you. They will get busy organizing little things. And they will withdraw. And you've got to draw them back out. You have to quietly, without other people around. They don't want to be criticized in front of everyone else. Find out what it is that has them upset. Do they think they're dumb and they can't do this work? Do you have to back up a little bit, have them repeat something that was easier for them? I have a granddaughter, Elizabeth, and all of us were helping her when she was learning to read. She said, I'm a failure. I'm too stupid. You were able to teach Joseph, my older brother. You can't teach me. And she went to her aunt's house for a week, who was a teacher, who went through a whole program and set it up that she first read a book that was really easy. And that when she got home, she would be reading it to her younger siblings. And then she read a book that was the level she was at the point, and then she had to read something, a few paragraphs or whatever, the level she was supposed to be getting to. And it built up her confidence to do this. She realized, yes, I can do that. All right, I can struggle and do it. I'm not there yet, but I know I'll get there. And so sometimes you have to think of what can I do to give them that assurance and that encouragement that they can do it. And then we have the friendly supporter who likes to sleep, who likes to eat, who will drop out of things and just refuse to do anymore when they get upset. They will get sarcastic and they will avoid the truth. They'll tell you they did it when they didn't. That's just part of what they do when they're upset. It's not that they want to lie, but they just avoid the truth. And so they'll sometimes not answer or sometimes not give you a full answer. How do you help their weaknesses? For your social interaction, plan some fun and say, when you finish all your work today, we're going to play a game. You can choose the game, or I have a new game for you, or we're going to take a walk, or that's when you can call a friend and talk. That's when you can do a Zoom call. You want to listen to them because they like to talk and have them tell you what it is they're learning, what they're struggling with, because they'll know, and give them a hug and a pat, give them that attention. Accept them for who they are and what their strengths are, and accept them for the subjects that they're better in, and remind them that they want to be a well-rounded person, that they can help with everybody around them. And that will help them to do all the subjects, because yes, they do want to be well-rounded. And talk them out of foolish decisions. They can be impulsive. They can rip up their book because they're so impulsive, and you need them not to be doing that. They are kinesthetic. right? They like things they can move around, so they might want a stress ball around them. If they have that tendency, I have a granddaughter who is homeschooled, that she was adopted older, and she has that tendency to rip things up, so they keep a pad there that she can rip up that paper and throw it away rather than ripping up her book. And give them visible rewards. And then what do we do with this powerful director? They need a timeout to cool down. They may need to be sent to the room to just cool down, calm down from their anger, catch their breath, and relax. They can hyperventilate if they don't. Suggest some action goals that you're going to sit down and have a little conflict resolution to talk about what happened and what was the problem. And brainstorm ideas with them, listening. Write down every idea they have, no matter how foolish it is to you, because it's something that's come up in their mind, and then go through that list and say, let's choose the 1 or 2 things that might really be the best to try, and go ahead and figure out which one to try to implement. Consider realistic expectations for them. They can't do as much as they think they can do sometimes, because they will say yes to everything. And if you're that type of mom, you're the one who says yes to every committee around you and yes to presidencies and all. And you know what? You need to make sure you don't overcommit yourself so that you're there with your child when they need them. Appreciate their accomplishments. They may have gotten angry in the middle of the day. Pull them back and say, look how much you already got done. Wow, I'm sure you can get the rest done. Let's take another 10-minute break, and then you can go back to work, and they'll or say, do you need a little break? And if so, how long? And they'll tell you how long, and they'll say, oh, I don't need that long. I'm ready now. And if they think they're ready, they probably are. And there are assigned tasks, which are part of their goal chart. Bring them back to that so they can get back on target. And then what do we do for the thoughtful analyzer? Try to have at least their area organized. Try not to mess up their area for them of wherever they're doing their studies. And wait for that child to talk. Wait for each answer when you ask them a question. Help that child forgive other people. They're so sensitive. And if you can even say, I hope I didn't do something today to hurt your feelings. If so, let me know, because I didn't mean to. I really love you, and I just wanted to do the things that were best for you. Set some lower standards, because they feel so unworthy if they can't achieve what was supposed to be done that day, that you may have to cut back on how much you expect them to do each day, because they do take longer time, but they don't mind taking a longer part of the day if they need to finish it. And encourage them. Encourage them partway through, saying, you're doing a great job. You've gotten a lot done. Post some mottos around them. I can do it. Yes, I can. Because they'll often think, I can't do it. I'm dumb. And you have to remind them, you are smart. You did this. You did that. And allow them that space. Allow them that time. Teach the child to replace the dishing themselves of I'm stupid with pep talk. I can do it. I really can. I may take longer, but I can do it. And then what do we do with the friendly supporter who's procrastinating, that drives somebody who's a powerful director mom or a thoughtful, analytical mom nuts, because they want everybody to be little busy bees or rabbits. They want to get things done. Show some respect to them. Look them in the eye, listen to them, sit beside the person, and set up that peaceful place for them. Have a little bit of humor to say to them. And that can be hard if you're a person who doesn't ever think in terms of humor. So you may have to have a joke book and say, okay, we're going to use one of these jokes, and then you can move on with the next thing. Motivate them with a snack, story time, or time to tell jokes. Motivate them with saying, and calm them down with saying they can get over that. Other thing on weaknesses is let me go through these again. For your social interactor, remind them to listen to other people, because they often don't. They want to perform and be the star. Remind them that cheering other people on means also giving them the time to talk. Remind the powerful director to thank other people, to show appreciation, because that's what they overlook. They're so goal-oriented, they forget to think about how people feel. And for the thoughtful analyzer, remind them that everyone is not going to sit and work as long as they will. That to be realistic, that if somebody's jumping on them and wants to hug them and all, to just let them know how they feel, and to be an audience for them. Just tell them, I'll watch and I'll applaud when you're done, rather than I'll take part in it, because that person is happy to perform, but of course they've invited you to make it a bigger play and bigger party. And then for the peaceful, friendly supporter, they're very good at supporting other people. They're good at getting along with other people. They will forget to voice their own opinions. They will do anything they can to bring peace to everyone around them. But they still have that struggle with procrastination. You need to help motivate them to overcome that with things I've mentioned. What are their biggest needs? The social interactor. Where's the fun? How can I get attention? I want attention. I want approval. The powerful director. What's the goal? What's the point of this? How can I have control? I want affirmation. I want approval. I want you to know what I did and be happy that I finished it. The thoughtful analyzer. Where's the order? Where is my assurance? How can I be more perfect? I want assurance. I want to feel safe. I want to feel comfortable. I want to feel that it's okay, that what I'm doing is okay. The friendly supporter, where's the peace? When can I relax? When can I eat? When can I rest? I want acceptance. I want you to accept that I won't rush through my work. And although you give them acceptance, you have to still draw that line and say, I accept what you want to do, but you cannot rest, eat, etc. until you do 15 minutes more work or 30 minutes more, whatever it is. And again, helping your child overcome weaknesses. That social interactor needs to listen more and focus more. I wouldn't give them a timer because they'll lose it too quickly, but you can say, I'm timing you, and I want to know that you get this done in this amount of time that I'm giving you. Just keep looking at that, and when I ring the bell, then I'll have a surprise for you as long as you've done this work. The powerful director can become a motivational leader rather than bossy. Let them, instead of bossing other people, help the younger siblings, help someone who's having trouble, and help them motivate that person. And remind them to thank people. At the end of the day, you can turn to that child and say, and did you thank someone today? The thoughtful analyzer becomes more nurturing, and they are artistic, and you need to help them accept what's less than perfect, what's great and okay for them. And that you don't have to always be great. That scale is all right if we're at the okay. The friendly supporter becomes wiser. They're more diplomatic, and they can sit long enough, but will they focus while they sit? That's what you have to get them to do and remind them to overcome that weakness. And how do they get along with other personalities? Because many of us, I have 5 children. A lot of you may have more than one child. And there's your husband and yourself, and your personalities are seldom all the same. And if you are all powerful directors, I'm sorry. That's a tough family because everyone wants control, and you have to divide up who has control of what. When my oldest, who was that little controller, was only 2 years old and I knew she wanted control, I gave her control of the diaper bag. I asked her to always make sure it had everything in it that I needed. The diapers, the food, the toy, the wipes, and it always did. And she carried it to the car. She brought it back in. She never allowed us to leave it anywhere. And she replenished it, told me what to add to the shopping list. And it was great because she had something she could control that benefited our family and made a difference. She just doesn't want to control her own toys. She wants to control something that's part of the family. Okay. The social interactor needs to accept the other people and accept what their personalities are like and realize they don't all want to be out front. They can share stories. They can also learn to give attention to other people, but to do it in a quiet way for children who are more reserved, more introverted, to smile and praise, which they're full of smiles anyway. They never keep grudges. They're ready to be your best friend tomorrow, even if they had a big fight with you today and said, I'll never talk to you again. Don't ignore them, and no one, all the other personalities should not ignore them. This person wants fun, so make it fun for that person. If your sibling is a social interactor, let them perform for you if you're not also a social interactor. the friend, the friendly supporter. They want peace and harmony. So try to be at peace with them. They want time to relax. They only like casual affection. They're not into a lot of close-up hugs and everything and holding hands. They want you to laugh at their jokes, though. They like humor, and they want to laugh at other things. And if they laugh, the other personalities, especially the thoughtful analyzer, should not take it personally. They have to learn when that person's laughing and making a joke, it's part of their personality. They're never trying to hurt you. You do have to help that child not be sarcastic or anything like that. This is an easygoing person. They're competent, they're steady, they're balanced. And everyone can depend on them to be a friend, and that's a good thing. So just think about what each person wants to help you know how to help each of them get along with one another. You know, that thoughtful analyzer can do the work that if the socializer wants to do a play, the thoughtful analyzer is probably happy to write the program for them. They can use their strength of organizing things to do that. How do you teach to the multiple children? I'd start the day with set up the powerful director first. They've got their goals and everything. You can just do a check-in and say, how are you doing? Do you know what your goals are today? Are you ready to do it? Have you got your work in order? Is there anything you need from me? They'll tell you. They know what they need. Let them go off. Then let the thoughtful organizer get organized. So wait on that one. Hand that child the schedule for the day. They love to have you give them that schedule. So stay up at night and get their schedule ready that you can just hand them, and then they'll take care of getting everything ready and getting going on their own. Then you've got time to really give attention to the social interactor with the assignment and promise to come back, listen, and interact. And tell them what part of that day you plan to really spend with them to work on their things, as long as they've gotten their other work done. That will help them get the other work done because they want that social time. And then set up the friendly supporter with a specific task and the timer to get it done, plus state the reward for completion, which often can just be a 5 or a 10-minute break. They love those little breaks. You don't have to feed them all day because we don't want to make them want to get fat as they grow up. We want to keep them healthy, although they'll take a healthy snack too of the carrots or whatever. But give them that reward that's the rest or the time that they enjoy, or some joke time with you. All right. Where to focus your time? Checking the work of the powerful director and adding stickers for approval. Preparing the schedule for the thoughtful analyzer and being gentle with any feedback. Take time to quietly teach what the child does not understand. Once he or she gets it, your child will remember it. They have good memories. For the friendly supporter, remind child life is more peaceful and easy when he or she does the work and you don't have to nag them. That if they don't like the nagging, they can avoid it. They can have more peace by doing their work. Try to add some humor to the lessons. If there's curriculum that has humor built into it, they'll like that curriculum better. The day may be longer for that child, and that's okay. I have a grandson that everybody else is done by early afternoon, and he's not done till supper time, sometimes after that, because he's such a procrastinator. For the social interactor, give them more attention to listen to the lessons and summaries, to go over the lessons together and plan fun dates or activities or games for completing the work for the day or the week. And it may be that when you get your work done, I'll play a game, but we're not going to actually play it till after supper or some other time till after the school day ends. But they know they've earned that game, and then they'll go off and play their things, knowing that by themselves if they've finished early. And I want to exit here and stop the share screen. Okay, and we have a little bit more time that I can talk about things again. I thought it was out of the share screen. There we go. All right. So, and I usually have more time at the end of this type of thing to ask, let people ask questions, but of course there's no real Q&A time here for that. So let's think about some of the hard, oh, here's Cynthia.
I'd like to know what kind of personality you are.
what I am exactly half and half between the powerful director and the thoughtful analyzer. So I can be detailed. That's why I can give you a list of all these different things.
Mhm.
And I'm very good at getting a lot of work done as a busy beaver. So I have 26 books because of that. And
Okay.
everyone says, why can I do so much? Because I'm goal-oriented of that powerful director, and I'm work-oriented of that thoughtful analyzer. But I've learned not to have it wait till it's so perfect that I'd never submit the book.
Right.
Okay, but I've had all those children. My oldest, Rebecca, is just like me. She's a powerful director and a thoughtful analyzer.
Mhm.
Michael is that Tigger in the land of Pooh, that bouncing person that teachers in first grade when he was in public school used to say, he climbs the walls, literally. But every time I ask him a question, he knows the answer because he did. And he's also a rocket scientist. He got through a lot. He went to the Air Force Academy and everybody thought, you know, what are you doing here? You can't get through all this training. And I thought, sure he can. He has so much strength that going climbing those ropes and all is a party to him. And Daniel, who, boy, when I was homeschooling him, he just really felt being home. Not only do I have a desk all alone, I'm all alone. In fact, when he was little and all the older siblings were still at home because there was a big gap, my first went to college before he started preschool, he'd look around and say, are there any people here?
To be alone.
Yes, I didn't count. I wasn't a people. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And if I said no, he'd come down. If I said yes, he'd say, I'll wait.
That's fun. Well, it's great that you've had experience with all these different kinds and can help. That's great. We
Yes.
appreciate your time and we appreciate this so much. And if we have questions, they'll be on the Savvy Homeschooler Facebook page. Thank you a bunch.